Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tim Meyer, here for the Romeo Sports Recap, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm Tim Meyer. I'm here with Gromthik Chatterjee.
Yep.
And Vinny Vasilevsky. You guys thought you were going to make it tough on me today, but I got it. Okay. And this is a little different. I mean, everybody out there knows Vinny Vasilevsky is the head boys varsity soccer coach at Romeo High School. But Gromthik, you're kind of new, and Vinny's going to introduce you as as the coach of the Union Football Club that's going to be playing soccer at Romeo High School. So, Cody, make sure you got things ready. But in any event, how the heck did this thing get started?
Yeah, well, thanks, Tim. Appreciate you having us on the show today. USL2, so that is the fourth tier of soccer in the United States. So you have MLS, USL Championship, that's where Detroit City plays. USL1, and then USL2. So USL2 is the highest amateur league that you can play in, semi-pro league in the country. And what this league is the top college young players playing in the summer with hopes of professional aspiration. And what these clubs do is get them on the field and showcase the talents that we have right here in Michigan. So when I introduce Gromthik over here, I'll let him explain a little bit more. But how this happened is I've been around it for a long time. I've been in the USL2 game for 5 years.
You must have a pretty good network out there.
Yeah. And
besides the coaches in the MAC.
Yeah, I know, right? This is a little bit different, but it's really exciting. Being in USL2 for 5 years, now that we have a team in Macomb County, really excited me because that's where I grew up. That's what I'm about, and
we know that.
And
we're familiar.
We're a Michigan. We're a 4 Michigan club, Michigan players showcasing Michigan talent, and that's what this club is going to do. So I'm going to hand it off to Gromthik a little bit to talk about the club a little bit, and I'll interject some of my Romeo stuff and how the season will be going. But I want Gromthik to explain a little bit more. This is his baby and his passion. I'm excited to be part of it this season.
Well, first of all, Gromthik, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in soccer?
Okay, got it. So I grew up here in Southeast Michigan, and grew up, played high school sports.
No, where did you play high school?
I went to Birmingham Groves. That was the high school that I graduated from. So I played sports down there, the local travel soccer teams, that type of thing. I went to the University of Michigan for a period of time. Left the state, both in a professional job capacity and then in the soccer playing. Have cleats, will play. Aspirations to play and have our all of us have our ambitions to have our.
You must have been pretty good.
Oh, I just needed someone else to say that. I think we all imagine ourselves to be pretty good. You just need someone else to say that about you. So, at a certain point in time, I came back to Michigan and got involved really with youth soccer. And as Vinny alluded to, with some partners, started a club, and that's fortunately been really successful and has grown. And we merged it with a club that Vinny grew up playing in, and in a very, very cool way, all of us who were the people that founded those clubs, we've all played with each other in high school or club soccer or collegiate soccer or professional soccer. We were always on the same teams or opposing teams. So we all knew each other. We were roughly the same age. So it was a very, 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 very easy relationship when the clubs came together to form this kind of super club called Nationals. But this is a separate endeavor now. And with USL, as Vinny alluded to, it's a really, really interesting proposition for all these kids in America and their pathway from club soccer and high school soccer, which kind of dovetail together for the varsity players, whether they're playing at Romeo or
we've noticed that some of the players do go to a club and play, and
it's the other 8-9 months of the year, right? Because they got to hone their skills and continue to play, and then they come represent their high schools and hopefully excel on the high school field as well with all the people from their own community. So in a similar sense, for those players that are elevating and then continuing that path into college and with maybe professional aspirations or just the aspiration to be the very, very best collegiate player they can be, the USL2 platform is a place for the women's side. The league is referred to as USLW.
You do have varsities, girls soccer.
Yeah, and I would say it's women's soccer because most of these young ladies are.
I'm sorry, I'm used to the high school.
22. Yeah, no, for sure. It's you got to flip into men's and women's from boys and girls, but that's what they are. They're young men and women. Most of them are in their college years and playing college soccer. There are some very, very good, I think, high school age players that are still in club soccer or just graduating that are good enough to be in these pools and will also play at this level, at USL2 level, in preparation for a collegiate career or in preparation for a professional career, frankly.
And as long as their knees are good still.
That's right.
And they can run and they can improve, I guess, then that's the idea. Yeah. Okay, if I'm a fan, I'm in town here, Romeo, and I'm looking for something to do.
Yeah.
To come out and look at some, I guess you would call it semi-pro soccer. How good is this soccer there? I mean,
yeah, it is some of the very, very best soccer. Having been in the league and been associated to this league over many, many years in different capacities, and obviously Vinny can speak to it because he's really been in the weeds of this for the last 5 years. But experiencing it last summer for the men, it's a very, very good level. This is, in my opinion, the equivalent of team number 1 in collegiate soccer to team 50. The level in Michigan and the Midwest in this league is really, really high. For a lot of the players, the level in USL 2 in the summertime and USLW is as good or most likely better than the colleges that they're playing at, frankly, because you're not just limited to the 3 years of college.
Yeah.
You're putting super teams together across many colleges that are all from Michigan.
Sort of an all-star team, kind of.
Quite a few.
It's a great way to.
It's quite a few are that way, and the reason why I'd say it is because there's such a rich soccer culture here in Michigan. You have so many good players that are coming out of every single club in Michigan and high school in Michigan that are going on to play college sports and college soccer all around the country, but they all come home in the summer.
Yeah, right. And they have to do something.
Yeah, so you have this real ability to form a very, very high-level team. And in fairness to all the other people that are in the league, they're also doing it. And that's great because there should be many places for all these kids to come and try to continue to develop and get better in the summer.
So, Vinny, you're the GM. So tell me, how many soccer matches does the team have for the season?
Well, we're going to have 12 matches for the boys, for the men, and then 10 for the women. It's going to be really exciting. So Union FC is obviously tied in with Nationals. Nationals is a top, you can probably correct me, but they're a top 3 women's club, travel club in the country, not Michigan, in the country. Wow. So the women have really high expectations right off the rip. Wow. The men's side very strong as well. Last year was the inaugural year, so this is their second year. Last year was at Swinehart. It's going to be much better at Romeo, believe me. It's a lot nicer.
They're going to tear down the stadium at Eisner, I guess. There's something's going on over there. So
that's exactly right.
And, and when we talked, when G and I talked, we talked about Macomb being home, Macomb being something to be proud of. And I think there's no better example of Macomb than Romeo. I mean, me growing up in Shelby, but the last 8 years, going on 9, being here in Romeo, it is home. There's so many great things.
Totally.
Took him downtown Romeo. Grunthick loved it. And we're partnering. I'm not going to speak too much of it now, but we're partnering with 1 or 2 places downtown where if you come to the game, there's some specials on.
So there'll be promotions and things. Yeah. And that's your job as the GM.
That's my job.
That falls on you. He just got to make sure that they play good.
That's right.
There we go. So we want to be part of the community. So when someone is trying to debate what they want to do on a Saturday night, we want to make it fun. Hey, after the game, half off your bill, or $1 drafts at the at one of the bars
local
over there. So
watering holes.
Yeah.
So we really want to ingrain ourselves in the community. And that's something, it doesn't happen in 1 year, but we have to start somewhere. I think there's no better place than Romeo.
And so how many home games are there going to be? Or are they all going to be at Romeo?
There'll be 6 on the men's side and 5 on the women's. So,
Okay.
everyone's got a home and away within the league.
And the season starts when?
Season can begin as early as May 1, and our home opener will be somewhere in that first week of May. The schedule is being finalized right now, so it's not finalized yet, but it will be within the next week. Yeah,
Hopefully nice one.
Yeah. First, second week of May.
All these home games will be May, June, and the first half of July.
Yeah. Okay. So my other question would be, is it? No, it's definitely, Vinny. There's probably more minutes than a high school game, right?
Yeah. Well, it's 45s. So
okay. So it will be
correct, and then the ref will keep injury time, just like a professional game. When a player comes out, they can't go back in. You're playing like a professional atmosphere. So a player plays, coach takes him out, it's done. There's no coming back in.
Okay.
So the player's got to be fit. So it's serious players. So to give you an example, Tim, last season from our division alone, so it's all Michigan and one Indiana team, there was over 12 kids that are now playing in the MLS.
Oh, wow.
And one player from Union FC last year, Josh Copeland, who played at U of D Mercy. So it's pretty cool when you're playing against these kids, and then the next year you're like, whoa, you went from Division 4 to Division 1. So sometimes these high-end players that are playing in the fourth part are good enough to play in the first division. It's just they're in college still, so they're not getting paid yet. So it's a really good level.
But this is a way for them to advance and basically show their game. Exactly. To scouts or whatever, and could end up at the highest levels of the pros if they're good enough. Okay. Yeah. You have any notable players that you're going to have this year that you're trying to get anyway? Maybe it's a question for both of you,
Yeah. Yes, there are many notable players that are already, kind of confirmed for the rosters on the men's and the women's side. Yeah, if I can, I'll speak to that just a little bit, because I think this speaks to the ethic and the ethos behind what we are all about. Okay, so if you look at the badge, Union Football Club Macomb, it's got these 2 hammers kind of coming together, kind of representing for me what I always thought Michigan was about. A real blue-collar work ethic, a real grit, a real grind, a real work rate.
Like the Detroit Lions, talk about grit and grind.
100%. That's part of the culture that I think all of us that have been associated to Southeast Michigan and Michigan in general, we know that. We kind of almost take it for granted until you leave and go other places and you realize that it's actually, it is kind of unique to us and our culture. And the whole ethic of the club is, as Vinny alluded to in the beginning, for Michigan, by Michigan, right? By Michigan, for Michigan, either way you want to say it. It all corresponds that we want to showcase the talent that has grown up in this state or is connected to this state in some capacity, right? So whether you grew up here and left but were connected to here, or you moved here when you were 15 and then finished off here, or you came to college, you've been here for 3 or 4 years, and now you're working in the city and you're a good enough player, whatever club you played for, whatever high school, if you're good enough to make the grade, we want to help you. We want to help showcase you. We want to help develop your game. We want to help push you to the next level. And as Vinny stated, Josh Copeland, who played for us last summer, grew up in the area and played at University of Detroit Mercy, and their men's program is just catapulted in his sophomore year, playing a summer, playing a fall in his college, and is catapulted now to an MLS club and is signed as a pro at Colorado.
First round draft pick.
And Carson Hodgson also has been drafted, and he's in Montreal, so we're going to find out exactly what happens in the next week with him. But that's already 2 players off of this program.
Anybody that you can, anybody that's come from any local high schools here, Vinny?
Carson went to Anchor Bay. The Anchor Bay Tars team that went to the state final. They lost in the state final. The 2 twins, Carson and Tanner Hodgson. I don't know where Josh went.
Josh went to Brother Rice. So he's another local kid. Grew up in the area, and I think our girls and our boys side, or men's and women's side, are chock full of players like this that are really, really, really talented players.
But with roots
all here,
right around here,
in Detroit. And I think that's the other thing that we really want to convey to, for sure the population here in Romeo, but across Southeast Michigan and for sure Macomb County, is that these kids they went to elementary school here, they went to middle school here, they went to junior high, they went to high school, they played in local clubs. Most of them are in local colleges because we have 5 Division I colleges here on the men's side, right between Western Michigan, Michigan State, U of D, Oakland, and again, same thing on the women's side. And of course they have a larger diaspora of different colleges that are all coming back to Michigan in the summer. But these are all local kids that you can then follow. You can come watch them live and support them, and that's what we want.
Will
we
you
want
will
to
you
support
note
them.
that in a program or a
Yeah.
sheet where they're
Yeah,
kind of
it'll all be
from and
online.
all that?
Yeah, all of
Absolutely.
it.
The lineups, yeah, okay. So
It'll
the
all
people
be
that go there will be able to.
Yeah, and within a year or two, some of these faces and names, you're literally going to see them in the big time. You'll have seen them live here at Romeo High School, and in a year's time or 2 years' time, you might be seeing them on TV and be like, "Hey, is that the guy whose article?" It is.
I remember.
That'd be so cool.
I remember kicker for Eisenhower after you, Justin Merrim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember I was watching a game with U of M, and he's playing there. Then he's playing in the pros, and then he's playing for the Iraqi national team.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was he's pretty good. Had a heck of a kick.
Great. He just retired. He just retired this year.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
He
just
was
back home.
we were 1 year apart, so we played travel together.
oh yeah.
The
Okay.
club that G was alluding to, we played together at Metro Stars, which is now merged into a bunch of clubs, and we played together forever. So
Yeah, back then we did the soccer games on local cable, but that's all kind of changing now. But I remember doing games. I remember coaches telling Justin in high school, we're going to put 3 guys on you. And this.
Right.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And that is the exact story. I think the purpose of the program is to create those kinds of pathways in a more streamlined fashion so that, if soccer's your love and you're good at this and you really want to continue to get better at it, here's another pathway to directly link our community and all the players that come from this community. Here's your path. Here's your path to whatever your dream
That's good
wants to
because,
achieve.
I think in a similar way, but it's not so local, is the United Shore Baseball League down there at the park in Utica.
Yes, absolutely.
Andy Appleby, he's similar in that way where he's giving kids a chance to, show their skills. So this is very similar to that, only but with soccer. I'm imagining that the game moves fast. I think there's a lot of you can't dilly-dally out there. No. I remember a couple times this year we were looking and some of your players were kind of like dancing a little bit and you were yelling to move the ball.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely a different level. But these kids are serious. This winter the boys came back from winter break. We had a few practices and I questioned, like, how many kids are going to show up? We have 30, 34 kids, 40 kids.
Holy mackerel.
These kids are serious. They want to play, and that's what we
half
want.
the battle.
Though.
It's half the battle.
We want an environment for the kids that want to play soccer. Yes. They want to play and they want to get better, and they want to be the best player they can be.
So,
it's going to be fun.
Tell me about your uniforms. Are they cool or what?
Yeah, I think they're real sweet. I can. I'll send you. I'll send you.
Well, send me that. But what color is it going to be?
It's what I'm wearing. It's So again, for our, again, I think trying to tie into like the grit of Detroit, everything's kind of silver and black.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like the Raiders.
Just like the Raiders.
And that's
the Raiders of soccer.
Yeah, kind of, right. So that's the whole color scheme is all silver, black, and white, and that's the uniforms. That's what the girls and the boys will be playing in. And you guys alluded to earlier that some players maybe from Romeo could possibly play on this team at one point.
Yeah, I think so. I think from this hub in the MAC, you got the Ikes, the Romeos, the Anchor Bays, the Dakotas. There's those kids are in that Nationals club. They're in that club, and in this league, and teams learn the easy way and the hard way. Usually by the time these kids are sophomores and juniors, that's like their sweet spot. Mm-hmm. That first freshman year is a learning experience, different age, different size, but yeah, definitely it's definitely an opportunity for those kids to be there.
Well, this sounds exciting. Something else to do there in the beginning of spring.
Yep.
Get out there and check out some soccer. It's going to be right at Romeo High School. So, and
yeah, it's right.
Like you say, there'll be promotions. You don't have cheerleaders or nothing like that.
Hey, I'm gonna be calling the dog pound. Don't worry. But we'll be. Usually the soccer guys are in charge of the dog pound.
Okay.
So
You might have
I'm
to.
sure one of my guys will be in charge of it. The last
Might
3
have it.
years.
Now, is it going to be broadcast anywhere? Are you going to have your
Yeah.
games?
Yeah, we have a live partner in NSN and MSN, and so there'll be a live stream of everything, commentated live stream for every single game, women's and men's, and of course the announcer at the field.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll
guys,
be a real fun environment, I think, and you know, at the end of the day, real family friendly and real fun environment to watch some really good soccer and have a cool thing to do, and then come back and
bring the
everybody into
youngins
community.
too. You know, bring the young ones that
Yeah.
that are interested in the game, and they all start out. Whether they go and dovetail into baseball or football or whatever, but they all start out as little kids kicking the ball.
That's it.
And so both girls and boys. So it could be a good idea, a good chance for them to go out and really see some top notch soccer.
It's cool because when you see it live and you like see the speed of it played at a real level, and it can be really inspirational and aspirational, right? For young players, young kids in general, to
Yes.
just be like, oh
I agree.
my God, I want to be that.
I mean, my only real professional game that I used to go to was way back when they used to have the Detroit Express.
Oh yeah.
But I was
awesome.
impressed. I was impressed with the way they moved the ball because I wasn't a soccer guy,
Yeah.
but I played hockey, so I kind of understood a little bit of the moving the ball and how they play with it. I think the star was Trevor Francis,
Trevor Francis.
Absolutely.
who was just amazing, and he was on Downslider's career, kind of a little older, but he still had a lot of game left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Merrim's nephews, his first cousins. Their name is
Oh.
his name's Trevor. They named him after Trevor Francis.
Okay. All right. I'll make a note of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So start up in the first week of May.
Yep.
And how's it going to work? The boys and the girls, the men and the women, the women's
Yeah.
are going to play on the same night or different nights?
Yeah, it's a mix of both because there are some different teams in each division for the women and the men. So sometimes it'll align where we get to play a double header and have the women and the men on the same night, and then other times they'll be separate and single. So it just kind of depends on how that schedule. It'll be done in the next week, and then it'll be finalized, and then we can release it, and we'll put it out there on all of our social media and so on and so forth, so that everyone starts to know all that home game schedule and times and so on and so forth.
Now, Vinny, is there if they're interested in knowing more about it? Is there a website? Is there a phone number they can call?
So we have Instagram page, Facebook page, Twitter. We have everything. So what I'll do is I'll definitely share it with you. You can put it on Mitt TV. I'll share it on my Facebook. But we have every form of social media known to man.
Okay.
And anyone that knows me, which a lot of people in our soccer community in Romeo know me, they feel free to call me. Most of them have my number.
Yes.
But I'll make sure I share that with you on the Mitt TV page.
We'll put it on the podcast as well, and put it on the Mitt TV page, which should be fun.
But the very easy way, unionfcmacomb.com.
Yeah,
Everything's on Union FC Macomb. Everything's attached to
There
that.
you go.
So,
Well, Grathik Chatterjee and Vinny, thanks for coming by here and telling us about this. I wouldn't have known anything about it, but now I'm going to have to come out and check you guys out.
oh, you are more
Looking
than
forward
welcome.
to it.
We'll have to make sure the boys and the men and the women perform on that day for you.
I like the black and silver jerseys. That's kind of cool.
What's my record when you show up to games?
Yeah, that might decide whether you're left.
Yeah,
500?
I don't. Yeah, probably about that. But I end up showing up to the Rochester Adams games, and I show up to the tough ones.
That's it.
Eisenhower. It's always a tough one, but that's okay.
There we go.
I know that one thing. I'm Marvin Cushenberry's good luck.
There we go.
So I showed up at a basketball game. They won. I
they
told them
win.
I'm his good luck charm.
There we go.
But who knows if you believe in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We look forward to, the Union Football Club coming out there at Romeo High School,
Yes.
playing a little top-notch soccer.
Yeah.
And folks should get out there and take a look at it. Maybe a good way to see how the game maybe should be played a little bit. And it's sort of a pro style, so it's kind of a professional team here. Right here in Romeo at Romeo High School Stadium, right?
That is
Yes,
exactly right. Really appreciate this opportunity to get out and have this conversation with you.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here on the Romeo Sports Recap. Until next time, so long, everyone.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer, signing off with a final word from our sponsors.
This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com.